1/5 is made up of this transparent part known as cornea. Next important which is the middle layer. If I talk about the middle layer beta, it is going to be a vascular layer which is present and that is known as uvea. तो हमें पता है the middle layer it is going to be made up of a vascular layer called as uvea. Uvea has three parts to it बच्चे. First is the anterior most part which is pigmented which gives colors to the eyes called as iris beta. Second is a part known as ciliary body. हमें पता है बेटा ciliary body has two parts to it. One is the finger like projections called as pars plicatum beta and second is called as pars plana. So pars plicatum and plana are the two parts of the ciliary body बच्चे. And third part is the posterior part known as choroid beta. Third is the posterior part known as choroid. Clear है यहाँ तक? Next important if I talk about is the innermost layer. Innermost layer is complete or incomplete layer. That is the incomplete layer called as the neural layer or retina beta. Wherever the innermost layer is an incomplete neural layer known as retina. Why neural? Because it contains the photoreceptors which are responsible for image formation. And these photoreceptors are rods and cones beta. We know the ones that are responsible for the night vision or the the night vision and the black and white vision are rods beta. The ones which are responsible for color vision or the day vision will be cones. So color vision and day vision by cones, night vision or the black and white vision by rods. Which are more in number? Rods. Rods are always more in number beta as compared to cones. Clear है यहाँ तक? So these are the three layers of the eyeball. Now, if I talk about ये देखो जो बाहर वाला blue layer है, that is the fibrous layer. Posterior 4/5 formed by sclera. Anterior 1/5 formed by this transparent structure known as cornea. Next, the middle layer is the vascular layer beta, known as uvea, formed by three parts. The first is iris, second part is ciliary body, and the third part is choroid beta. Third is the innermost layer, the yellow layer that you are able to see. It is an incomplete layer known as retina beta. Now, as we know that retina is an incomplete layer, so the anterior most portion of retina is called as the anterior most termination of retina. जहाँ anteriorly retina खत्म होता है, it is known as ora serrata. Another important one-liner. It is also the thinnest portion of retina. अगर पूछा जाए, which is the thinnest portion of retina, answer has to be this ora serrata beta. Clear है यहाँ तक? अब we know बच्चे that your eyeball is divided into two segments, the anterior and posterior, due to which structure? Lens. तो हमें पता है बेटा in eye we don't only have one transparent structure known as cornea, we have another transparent structure called as lens बच्चे. So lens is usually present inside the eyeball and it divides our eye into two segments. We know lens is going to hang in the eyeball beta with the help of these ligaments called as. तो ये जो suspensory ligaments है which are connected to ciliary body beta, these ligaments are going to help the lens to hang inside the eyeball बच्चे. Clear? So these suspensory ligaments are also known as zonules beta. In suspensory ligaments are also called as zonules. Ab the area behind the lens is called as posterior segment and the area in front of the lens is called as anterior segment. अगर मैं पूछूं बेटा that this posterior segment is obviously bigger, it is around 4 ml in volume and it contains which fluid? So we know in the posterior segment of the eye we have a fluid called as vitreous humor बच्चे. Clear? In the posterior segment of the eye you have a fluid known as the vitreous humor. इसीलिए if there is any bleeding in the posterior chamber of eye, that is called as vitreous hemorrhage. In the posterior segment of eye it is called as vitreous hemorrhage. Important is the area in front of the lens is anterior segment. अब anterior segment is divided into two chambers beta. याद रखना. The area between the lens and the iris will be called as anterior chamber. The area between the area between cornea and iris is known as the anterior chamber, and the area between iris and lens is called as posterior chamber. So between cornea and iris it is anterior chamber, between iris and lens will be posterior chamber. And this whole anterior segment of the eye contains a fluid known as aqueous humor. So the fluid present in the anterior as well as posterior chamber or the anterior segment of eye is known as aqueous humor. Aqueous humor is secreted by. तो हमें पता है बेटा ciliary body has two parts, right? One is pars plana, second is pars plicatum. So pars plicatum is actually responsible for the secretion of aqueous humor. तो aqueous humor को बनाने का काम is definitely by the pars plicatum बेटा. Now understand, यहाँ पे देखो एक बार. See, the aqueous humor is produced by these pars plicatum in the posterior chamber of the eye. Then it comes into the anterior chamber of eye, and in the anterior chamber of eye beta we have this angle called as the Iridocorneal angle. ये जो angle है बेटा between iris and cornea, it is called as an iridocorneal angle. Inside this iridocorneal angle बच्चे we have a trabecular meshwork. And via this trabecular meshwork in the iridocorneal angle or in the anterior chamber of eye beta, there will be drainage of aqueous humor beta. तो जो हमारा aqueous humor है ये इस trabecular meshwork के सहारे absorb हो जाएगा. Clear? तो 90% of aqueous humor is absorbed from this trabecular meshwork beta. 10% goes into the uveo-scleral outflow. 10% जो होता है वो uvea और sclera के बीच में घुस जाता है बेटा. क्लियर है बात? Important है. मुझे बताओ, in case if I say ये जो iridocorneal angle है, ये जो iridocorneal angle है बेटा, if that angle is closed, will your aqueous humor be able to drain? No. And due to that, the intraocular pressure of the patient is going to increase, and that is going to cause which kind of glaucoma? If iridocorneal angle is going to close, the patient will have a angle closure glaucoma. Clear है बात? अब दूसरा condition में मैं बोल रहा हूँ, the angle is open बेटा. There is no problem at the iridocorneal angle. The angle is open. Problem is the trabecular meshwork which is there बेटा, it has got blocked. ठीक है? The trabecular meshwork is blocked due to either fibrosis of the trabecular meshwork or due to blockage of the trabecular meshwork, like due to proteins, pigments, cells. तो प्रोटीन्स पिगमेंट सेल्स ऐसा कुछ अगर ब्लॉक कर रहा है तो दैट कैन आल्सो कॉज ब्लॉकेज. तो ईदर ड्यू टू फाइब्रोसिस और ड्यू टू सम सब्सटेंसेस द trabecular meshwork is blocked, but the angle is still open. And again beta, please tell me, will the aqueous humor be able to drain? If the trabecular meshwork is blocked, the aqueous humor is not able to drain, again causing increase in the intraocular pressure, and that is also called as which glaucoma? Open angle glaucoma. Hopefully clear है यहाँ तक. That is what is glaucoma. Understood? So these are the few points that you need to remember. Now we know there are two transparent structures in the eye beta. One is going to be the cornea and second is going to be the lens. Reason. Please remember beta, both of them are transparent basically because one, they are avascular in nature beta. They do not have any kind of vessels inside them. So if they are avascular in nature, how do they get their nourishment? अगर मैं बात cornea की, cornea is only in contact with the aqueous humor. So cornea gets the nourishment from aqueous humor. But अगर मैं बात करूँ lens की, तो lens is contacting with lens is in contact with both the fluids beta. So it can get the nourishment from both the aqueous humor as well as the vitreous humor. But majorly lens gets the nourishment from aqueous humor. Majorly lens gets the nourishment from aqueous humor. अब cornea को तो oxygen की भी जरूरत है. So cornea will get the oxygen from एटमॉस्फेयर और एयर में. कॉर्निया को जो ऑक्सीजन मिलता है इट इज फ्रॉम द एटमॉस्फेयर और एयर. इसीलिए इफ अ पर्सन इज अ क्रॉनिक कॉन्टैक्ट लेंस यूजर बेटा, विल हिज कॉर्निया गेट इनफ ऑक्सीजन? नो. तो इसीलिए पर्सन इज गोइंग टू वियर कॉन्टैक्ट लेंसेज फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन ऑफ टाइम, हिज कॉर्निया इज डिप्राइव्ड ऑफ ऑक्सीजन बेटा. एंड अगर कॉर्निया को ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिल पाएगा, therefore these contact lens user are going to develop infection of the cornea called as केरेटाइटिस बेटा और कॉर्नियल अल्सर्स. समझे? इसीलिए कॉन्टैक्ट लेंस यूजर्स में केरेटाइटिस और कॉर्नियल अल्सर इज कॉमन बिकॉज द कॉर्निया डज नॉट गेट इनफ ऑक्सीजन. क्लियर यहाँ तक? दैट इज व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. अब ये दोनों स्ट्रक्चर्स ट्रांसपेरेंट है क्यों? द फाइनल क्वेश्चन रिमेन्स द सेम एंड दैट इज फॉर एंट्री ऑफ रेज ऑफ लाइट. हमें पता है द रेज ऑफ लाइट हैव टू एंटर इनसाइड द आईबॉल so that these rays of light are going to fall on the retina. Now when the rays of light will fall on the retina beta, that leads to formation of image. जब तक the rays of light are not going to fall on the retina, the image formation cannot happen beta. Clear है यहाँ तक बात? इसीलिए both the structures should be transparent. Now both the structures should not only be transparent, they should have some refractive power. Now what is refractive power? The ability of the eye beta to deviate the rays or to converse the rays. ठीक है? The ability of the eye बच्चे, sorry, the ability of the eyeball or the ability of corneal lens to deviate the rays so that they can fall on the retina. That power is known as refractive power. How much is the total refractive power? We know the total refractive power is plus 60 diopter. Major contributor is cornea. Cornea is responsible for plus 43 diopters of the refractive power and lens is responsible for plus 17 diopters of refractive power. क्लियर है बात? प्लस क्यों? क्योंकि कन्वर्जेंस हो रहा है. ठीक है? तो जब भी कन्वर्जेंस ऑफ रेज करना होता है दैट इज अ प्लस पावर. क्लियर है बात? अब मुझे बताओ, इन केस ऑफ द रेज ऑफ लाइट, फॉर एग्जांपल आई से दैट द आईबॉल इज वेरी वेरी बिग बेटा. अगर आईबॉल बहुत बड़ा होगा, विल द रेज ऑफ लाइट एग्जैक्टली फॉल ऑन द रेटिना? नो. So the rays of light will fall in front of the retina. Whenever the eyeball जब भी eyeball बड़ा होता है, rays of light fall in front of retina, that is known as myopia. Contrary, if I say whenever the eyeball is very very small beta, जब eyeball छोटा होगा, तो the rays of light will fall behind the retina. And whenever the rays of light will fall behind the retina, will there be image formation? No again. And that visual disturbance is known as hypermetropia. तो hypermetropia मतलब hyper याद रखना बहुत दूर तक. तो यहाँ पे the rays of light will go very far and will fall behind the retina. Hopefully that's cleared all of you. Now यहाँ पे याद रखना बेटा, this is the retina, the yellow layer. अब इस पे you are able to see a point बेटा called as fovea. तो the central point of retina or the central point of macula. Macula क्या होता है? The central circle of retina is known as macula. तो retina का जो बीच का circle होता है, that is known as macula बेटा. और retina के macula का central most point is called as fovea centralis. Fovea centralis will have sharpest image formation. Reason? Cones or rods? तो याद रखना बेटा, fovea centralis contains maximum number of cones, and that's the reason this is the point for sharpest image formation. That was a PYQ. The sharpest image formation occurs on which point of the retina? Answer is fovea centralis, because it contains maximum number of cones. कोई दिक्कत? Which cranial nerve is responsible for vision? The second cranial nerve known as optic nerve is responsible for vision बच्चे. अब हमें पता है retina से optic nerve is going to start. So the visible part of optic nerve on the retina will be called as optic disc. तो optic nerve का जो हिस्सा retina पे होता है बेटा, that is called as optic disc. Please tell me बेटा, will there be any image formation on optic disc? No, because the optic disc does not contain any rods or cones. As there are no rods and cones on the optic disc, there is no image formation on optic disc, and therefore it is called as physiological blind spot. तो optic disc बेटा in the visual field will be considered as a physiological blind spot क्योंकि यहाँ कोई image नहीं बनती. ठीक है? So that is what is important. This was about anatomy. Second part now. Second part is basically बेटा, these are the main complaint now. याद रखना, main complaint of ophthalmology is either gradual painless loss of vision बेटा, second sudden painless loss of vision बच्चे, और third sudden painful loss of vision. Either of this complaint will be always there in one of the opthal questions बेटा. And depending on this your diagnosis becomes very very easy बेटा, because तुम्हें फिर पूरे ऑफ्था के बारे में नहीं सोचना होता, तुम्हें बस कुछ डिसीजेस के बारे में दिमाग लगाना होता है. Clear? First of all, if I talk about gradual painless loss of vision, here it could be seen in the most common cause of blindness known as, तो important वाले highlight कर रहा हूँ मैं. तो please remember बेटा, in a patient of cataract, they will say the patient comes to you with gradual मतलब बहुत लंबे टाइम तक the patient is having painless loss of vision. Next, it can be seen in a complication of cataract surgery called as, तो हमें पता है बेटा, a complication of cataract surgery is known as PCO, posterior capsular opacification, also known as secondary cataract or after cataract. That also comes to you with the same complaint of gradual painless loss of vision. Next, it is also seen in patients of open angle glaucoma. So open angle glaucoma either seen in elderly patients or young patients beta will also have a gradual painless loss of vision. Clear? Next is diabetic retinopathy. हमें पता है बेटा, diabetic retinopathy will again cause a gradual loss of vision beta. It will not cause a sudden loss of vision. Only rare conditions, but mainly diabetic retinopathy causes gradual loss of vision. Next important beta, macular diseases. Macular मतलब central part of retina में अगर कोई दिक्कत है, those macular diseases can be, one is CSR known as central serous retinopathy, or another is CME, that is cystoid macular edema. So whether it is central serous retinopathy or cystoid macular edema or ARMD, that is age related macular degeneration, all these macular diseases will cause a gradual painless loss of vision. Clear यहाँ तक? Next important, intraocular malignancy, and that is nothing else but so retinoblastoma is a malignancy which grows slowly beta, and that's the reason the patient will have gradual painless loss of vision. Retinoblastoma is more common in children or adults? Children. Next will be refractive error. Refractive errors मतलब myopia और hypermetropia. तो हमें पता है myopia और hypermetropia में suddenly तो power नहीं बढ़ती, तो धीरे धीरे there is loss of vision, that is a gradual painless loss of vision. Next is keratoconus. We know here the shape of the cornea becomes conical beta, so that will lead to definitely beta a gradual painless loss of vision. Next is retinitis. Retinitis pigmentosa is a condition जहाँ पे there is damage to the photoreceptors, that is rods and cones, and जिसकी वजह से धीरे धीरे the patient will develop painless loss of vision. And last is xerophthalmia, that is vitamin A deficiency, that also leads to a gradual painless loss of vision. Next important is sudden painless loss of vision. Sudden painless loss of vision is seen in conditions CRVO or CRAO, that is central retinal venous occlusion or central retinal arterial occlusion. In both these conditions, there will be a sudden and a painless loss of vision. Do remember that. Next is the case of vitreous hemorrhage. If there is any bleeding in the posterior segment of eye beta, that is vitreous hemorrhage. It could be due to diabetic retinopathy. It could be due to CRVO beta in multiple conditions. जब भी there will be neovascularization, नई blood vessels बनेंगी, those are fragile, they will rupture and they will cause a vitreous hemorrhage. That will lead to a sudden painless loss of vision. Next, another condition जहाँ पे there will be a young patient coming to you with recurrent vitreous hemorrhage called as Eales disease beta. So Eales disease में young male patient coming to you with recurrent vitreous hemorrhage will be the classical case. Again the patient will have sudden painless loss of vision. Next is retinal detachment. याद रखना retinal detachment में the patient will have a sudden painless loss of vision and a very classical finding, the falling curtain sign. Okay, so there will be a very classical falling curtain sign which will be a feature of retinal detachment. Next is papilledema. हमें पता है papil edema is edema of the optic disc. It happens whenever a person is having raised intracranial pressure. अब याद रखना, whenever a person will have raised intracranial pressure, patient will have a severe headache beta. But the loss of vision or the blurring of vision, loss नहीं होता, blurring of vision which is there, it is going to be painless. ठीक है? Next important is ectopia lentis, that is nothing else but subluxation or partial dislocation of the lens. जब लेंस अपनी जगह से खिसक जाती है बेटा, that is ectopia lentis. That will also cause a sudden painless loss of vision. Next is sudden painful loss of vision. इतना तो clear है, pain happens due to inflammation. So all those conditions which are inflammatory will cause a sudden painful loss of vision. Conditions like optic itis hai. So we know beta optic neuritis, which is the inflammation of optic nerve. It can cause a sudden painful loss of vision. Which condition? Which condition can lead to? Very good. Multiple sclerosis is the condition beta जहाँ पे patient will have optic neuritis and a sudden painful loss of vision. Next is uveitis. We know uveitis is inflammation of the uvea beta, whether it is anterior, intermediate or posterior uveitis. All is going to cause sudden painful loss of vision. Next, angle closure glaucoma. याद रखना, open angle glaucoma में there was gradual painless loss of vision. But in angle closure glaucoma, suddenly the patient IOP is going to increase, and that leads to beta acute attacks of angle closure glaucoma that will cause sudden pain of vision, severe retroorbital pain, blurring or loss of vision, barabar, stony hard eyeball. These are the features. Next important is scleritis, obviously again inflammation, keratitis, that is corneal ulcer beta, and a complication of cataract surgery called as endophthalmitis, that is inflammation of the inner layers of eyeball. That is the complication of cataract surgery. ठीक है, तो जितने at least highlighted is important ones. Now let's talk about some one-liners beta in ophthalm. तो one-liners की अगर मैं बात करूँ, first is volume of orbit is going to be, so we know beta the total volume of orbit is around 30 ml beta. Total volume of orbit is 30 ml. How much is the volume of eyeball? The volume of eyeball is approximately 6 to 7 ml beta. So 6 to 7 ml is the usual volume of eyeball. Posterior segment का volume कितना होता है? Posterior segment का volume is 4 ml beta, and this posterior segment contains vitreous humor. Next, anterior segment is divided into two parts, from cornea to iris, anterior chamber, and from iris to the lens, posterior chamber. Anterior chamber is going to be 0.25 ml beta, and posterior chamber is 0.06 ml. Clear है बात? That is what is important. याद रखना, volume of eyeball has been asked in a PYQ, so be aware of that. Next important, if I talk about which is going to be eye development, another PYQ from embryology anatomy. Eye development begins by what time of intrauterine life? So eye development starts by third week of intrauterine life beta. So by the third week of intrauterine life, or the 21st day to be specific, the eye development is going to start baching. Next, embryological derivatives beta. Now if I talk about, याद रखना, eye is derived from either the mesoderm or the ectoderm beta. Now mesodermal derivatives in the eye बच्चे, first one, all the extraocular muscles. तो हमें पता है all the extraocular muscles which are present outside the eyeball and responsible for the movement of eyeball beta, all of them are derived from mesoderm. याद रखना, majority muscles in the body are always derived from mesoderm. Clear है बात? So extraocular muscles, how many extraocular muscles do we have? It is 7 beta. There are total 7 extraocular muscles. One is levator palpebrae superioris, which is responsible for elevation of upper eyelid. Next, there are 4 rectus muscle, superior superior, inferior, medial and lateral rectus. Two oblique muscles, superior and inferior oblique. All the extraocular muscles are innervated or supplied by third cranial nerve known as oculomotor nerve, except LR6 SO4. Lateral rectus innervated by sixth cranial nerve known as abducens nerve. Superior oblique innervated by fourth cranial nerve known as trochlear nerve. Clear है बात? If I talk about beta the next one, that is sclera. याद रखना majority part of sclera is derived from the mesoderm, and third is going to be primary vitreous. What is primary vitreous? The vitreous which is present before birth, it is called as primary vitreous. After birth the vitreous changes beta. Clear? Next important the ectoderm beta. Ectoderm is of three parts basically. We know there are three parts of ectoderm. First is surface ectoderm, second is neuroectoderm, and even some books consider neural crest cells as a part of it. If I talk about surface ectoderm beta, it gives rise to leg. What is a leg? L for lens and the lacrimal apparatus beta. So lens and the whole lacrimal apparatus is going to develop from surface ectoderm. E for epithelium of cornea and conjunctiva bache. Okay, what is cornea? So we know it is this transparent structure from which the rays of light enter into the eye. What is conjunctiva? The transparent covering beta which is protecting the sclera or the inner eyelid. So the protective covering is conjunctiva. The epithelium of cornea and conjunctiva. And G for glands. Which glands they are talking about? Lacrimal to ho gaya. The eyelid glands beta. There are three types of eyelid glands. One is meibomian gland, second is Zeiss gland, and third is the Moll glands. So meibomian, Zeiss and Moll, all these three types of eyelid glands are derived from surface ectoderm bache. Next is neuroectoderm. Neuroectoderm mein the mnemonic you can remember is Voyer beta. Now when I talk about Voyer, basically V for vitreous humor. This one is a secondary vitreous which appears after birth. O for optic nerve bache. I for iris and the muscles of iris, and R for retina. So these are the four structures which are derived from the neuroectoderm. And lastly, it is nothing else but neural crest cells beta. Neural crest cells are going to be forming the cost. Cost matlab C for cornea and the ciliary ganglion or muscles. ठीक है, तो C stands for cornea along with ciliary ganglion and muscles. O for optic nerve sheath. प्रिंट नहीं हुआ यहाँ पे. It is optic nerve sheath basically. ठीक है, mnemonic के लिए याद रख सकते हो. Next, S for the remaining part of sclera. We know some part of sclera is derived from mesoderm, the remaining part is derived from neural crest cells, and T for trabecular meshwork. So cost is the mnemonic that you can remember over here. Clear है बात? चलो, next important if I talk about now, axial length of eyeball beta. Axial length मतलब transverse diameter or the AP diameter. याद रखना बच्चे that whenever they say axial length बच्चे याद रखना that means they are talking about the AP diameter, that is anteroposterior diameter of the eyeball. How much is the AP diameter of eyeball? So in an adult eye beta, the axial length of the eyeball is approximately 24 mm. Axial length of an eyeball in an adult eye is around 24 mm बच्चे. That is what is important to be remembered. No issues still here? याद रखना. In newborn eye, how much is it? So we know newborn eye में the axial length is approximately 16.5 millimeter. अब मुझे बताओ basically the axial length of eyeball is measured by which investigation? Ultrasound, A scan or B scan? Answer is ultrasound A scan beta. तो याद रखना A for axial length बच्चे. तो ultrasound A scan will help in measuring the anteroposterior diameter of the eyeball. याद रखना ultrasound B scan is used for posterior segment pathologies. So whenever there is any problem in the posterior segment of eye bच्चे, you can go for an ultrasound B scan. Clear है बात? Important is the newborn eye is smaller or larger than the adult eye? Newborn eye is smaller or larger than the adult eye? It is smaller than the adult eye. So if the newborn eye is smaller than the adult eye, the rays of light will fall on the retina or behind the retina. As the newborn eye bच्चे is very very small, that means the rays of light will fall behind the retina. And whenever rays of light fall behind the retina, it is myopia or hypermetropy. That's the reason we say bच्चे that the newborn eye is going to be hypermetropic. By how many diopters? +2 to +3 diopter beta. The newborn eye is going to be hypermetropic bच्चे by +2 to +3 diopters. That is important to be remembered again. Now another question in the recent FMG exam beta, and that was जब बच्चे को तुम spectacles recommend करोगे या prescribe करोगे, whenever you prescribe lenses or spectacles to a growing child beta, what thing you have to keep in mind? याद रखना. तो याद रखना बच्चे, important is Now we know that as the baby's eye will grow बच्चे, what will happen? The baby will go from hypermetropia to immetropia. Normal होगा ना? तो जैसे ही बच्चा grow होगा, eyeball भी grow होगा, and that baby goes from hypermetropia to immetropia. So can I say it is either it is called as immetropic shift or a myopic shift? क्योंकि myopia की तरफ आ रहा है वो, बराबर? So that is what is important. That was a PYQ in the recent FMG exam. Key, what you have to keep in mind while prescribing glasses or lenses to the baby child, it is myopic shift is going to happen beta. तो जब भी बच्चे को prescribe करोगे lenses, always keep this in mind that the myopic shift is going to occur. Clear है बात? Next important, we have discussed this. Lens derives the nourishment from both aqueous as well as vitreous humor mainly. So lens mainly derives the nourishment बच्चे from the aqueous humor followed by the vitreous humor. So mainly the lens derives the nourishment from aqueous humor followed by the vitreous humor. Because it is avascular reason, it has to maintain the transparency, so blood vessels cannot be present inside it. Next is cornea is also transparent and avascular, so cornea derives the nourishment from, cornea तो आगे होता है, तो it is only in contact with aqueous humor, तो cornea can only derive the nourishment बच्चे from the aqueous humor. But अगर वो पूछेंगे कि cornea derives basically its oxygen from, ठीक है, तो अगर वो बोलेंगे cornea derives its oxygen बच्चे from, तो answer has to be the atmosphere or the environment beta. याद रखना, the cornea derives its oxygen from the atmosphere or environment. Hopefully that's clear to all of you now. Next important, if I talk about which is nothing else but refractive power of the eye. So this also we have discussed. How much is the total refractive power of eye? So the total refractive power of eye, बच्चे, we know it is plus 60 diopter. So out of the total 60 diopters of the eye, बच्चे, cornea is going to contribute plus 43 diopter and lens is going to contribute plus 17 diopter बेटा. Clear है बात? अब अगर वो पूछेंगे how much is the refractive index बेटा, याद रखना refractive index of aqueous and vitreous humor is going to be 1.34. तो याद रखना minimum refractive index in the eye is present in aqueous and vitreous humor, that is 1.34. But maximum refractive index is found in the center of lens. This has been an important question. Maximum refractive index is found in the center of lens and that is 1.42. So it is 1.42 बच्चे which is present in the center of lens. Maximum refractive index. Now, if they ask you bachche that lens capsule is made up of which type of collagen? We know beta that lens capsule is usually made up of collagen type 4. So अगर lens capsule is made up of collagen type 4, तो in which condition it is going to be defective? Alport syndrome. ठीक है? So that is important to be remembered beta. That Alport syndrome is a condition जहाँ पे patient has a mutation in alpha 5 chain of collagen type 4. इसीलिए the collagen type 4 of the lens capsule is defective in Alport syndrome and that causes anterior lenticonus. Can't see, can't be, can't hear now. That is the cause for anterior lenticonus. Next, lens capsule is thinnest at which pole? तो हमें पता है बच्चे that lens capsule will be thinnest at posterior pole. इसीलिए posterior polar cataract is considered as the most dangerous cataract. The most dangerous cataract अगर बोलेंगे तो answer has to be the posterior polar cataract because lens capsule is thinnest over here. Clear है यहाँ तक? Next important, if I talk about beta question where they say a newborn has been brought to you बच्चे with the below given finding. ये finding दिख रही है, but the vision of the child is absolutely normal. What is the likely diagnosis? So we know beta here क्या दिख रहा है? This is the lens. In the lens beta, are you able to see that the lens is completely transparent? No, there are some whitish opacities in the lens. हमें पता है normally the lens should be transparent. But in case if there is any kind of opacity in the lens, that is what is called as cataract. हमें पता है if there will be opacity in the lens, will the rays of the light be able to fall on the retina? No, and that will cause vision loss beta in the patient. Now, in this newborn, they say beta newborn बच्चे में अगर कोई cataract दिख रहा है, that has to be a congenital cataract. So definitely the likely diagnosis of this case is congenital cataract beta. अब congenital cataract are mainly of two type beta. One is called as a blue dot cataract and second is called as a lamellar or a zonular cataract. ये वाला कौन सा है? देखते ही पता चल रहा है that definitely the one that is shown in the picture beta, it is nothing else but blue dot cataract बच्चे. So it is nothing else but a blue dot cataract, also called as universal cataract beta. Now अगर picture नहीं भी होता, still my answer would have been beta blue dot blue dot or universal cataract. Only type of cataract जहाँ पे the vision is normal is blue dot cataract बेटा, ठीक है? यहाँ पे the baby's vision is not usually affected, which is that is a blue dot or a universal cataract बेटा. Clear है बात? Next important type of congenital cataract is this one. अब यहाँ पे क्या दिख रहा है? There is opacification of the suspensory ligaments of zonules बेटा. And whenever there is opacification of suspensory ligament of zonule, the patient is going to have a lamellar or a zonular cataract. Please tell me बेटा, in lamellar or zonular cataract, do we have vision loss? तो याद रखना बेटा, whenever the patient will have a lamellar or zonular cataract, loss of vision, LOV याद रखना इससे आगे, LOV is nothing else but loss of vision is always present बेटा. तो जब भी it is going to be a lamellar or zonular cataract बेटा, obviously the loss of vision is always present. क्या appearance दिखता है इसमें? तो ये जो riders है, ये जो zonules है, when they get opacified, they will look like riders or the spoke wheels. ठीक है? तो either you call it as riders or the spoke wheel बेटा, and that appearance is always suggestive of a lamellar or a zonular cataract. तो कोई भी congenital cataract जहाँ पे loss of vision है, it is more likely to be a case of lamellar or zonular cataract. Next, what is the most common cause of blindness overall? We know बेटा, most common cause of blindness or ocular mortality is always cataract बेटा. Most common cause of ocular morbidity, refractive error. Very good. याद रखना, mortality मतलब death, ठीक है? तो most common cause of ocular mortality, that is blindness, is nothing else but cataract. But most common cause of ocular morbidity, that is disease, answer is refractive errors. If they ask you what is the most common cause of cataract, we know beta, most common cause of cataract is senility or old age beta. बराबर ना? Cataracts are usually going to develop usually after 60 or 70 years of age beta. So senility is going to be the most common cause of cataract. Most common drug responsible for cataract. So steroids are the leading drugs beta which are known to cause cataract beta. So steroids are the commonest drug known to cause cataracts which important is, we know that whenever a patient is going to have cataract, patient will come to us with a gradual painless loss of vision. Along with that, the opacity in the lens will be visible. Treatment of choice for cataract will be surgeries has to be done because cataract is curable with surgery. So पहले we used to perform ICCE, that is intracapsular cataract extraction, जिसमें I used to remove the complete lens beta along with the capsule. Then we came up with ECCE, that is extracapsular cataract extraction. Extracapsular cataract extraction में I used to remove the lens beta, but we used to leave behind the posterior capsule. क्यों? तो याद रखना बेटा, in the extracapsular cataract extraction, I used to leave behind the posterior capsule so that I can place the new intraocular lens inside the posterior capsule. But nowadays, this surgery is also not done. Reason for extracapsular cataract extraction, the incision that is made is very, very big. For that, we need to take sutures, and जब भी sutures लोगे, the corneal surface will become regular or irregular? Irregular. And जब भी corneal surface irregular होगा, the rays of light will fall on multiple surfaces on the retina. That is known as astigmatism. इसकी वजह से ECC is not done. Nowadays, the usual treatment that we do for cataract, commonest surgery जो करते हैं, phaco emulsification बेटा. Commonest surgery जो करी जाती है आज भी cataract के लिए, it is phaco emulsification बेटा. Yes, there are a lot of other surgeries, small incisional cataract surgery, micro incisional cataract surgery, or even FLACS, that is a femtolaser assisted cataract surgery. But still the commonest surgery that we still do in India beta is nothing else but phaco emulsification, where first of all beta, here we make a very small incision around 3.2 millimeter. That is a self-sealing incision that does not require sutures, and therefore that does not cause astigmatism. Next important is बच्चे phaco emulsification में the incision is done with this diamond shaped instrument called as, and this was a previous year FMG question beta, तो याद रखना, the diamond shaped instrument used to make an incision in cataract surgery is known as keratome. Incision for cataract surgery is done at which site? तो हमें पता है incision at the cataract surgery beta is usually done at the level of limbus. Limbus is corneoscleral junction, जहाँ cornea खत्म होता है और sclera start होता है. At that limbus you do an incision with the help of keratome. Next important, एक बार incision हो गया, then you create a tunnel beta till the lens with this instrument. Another PYQ. What is this instrument called as? Crescent blade or a crescent knife beta. So this crescent blade or crescent knife which is there bache, it is the instrument that is used to create a tunnel till the lens beta. And once you do that basically, then you go for hydrodissection, that is separation of lens. Then you go for fragmentation, that is karyorrhexis, and then you definitely go for aspiration. All the fragments have to be removed. Uske baad, we have to definitely place a new intraocular lens. In which capsule? So the new intraocular lens that we place, beta, could be rigid lens made up of PMMA, that is polymethyl methacrylate, or a foldable lens made up of acrylic, beta. So either a rigid lens made up of PMMA or polymethyl methacrylate, and foldable lenses made up of acrylic. Which are preferred? The foldable lens made up of acrylic, these are commonly preferred, beta. Reason, in foldable lens we need only a smaller incision, beta. Isliye they are always preferred. Ideal site basically to place the lens we have discussed. So posterior capsule, also called as in the bag, beta. So posterior capsule, also called as in the bag. This is actually going to be, beta, the best site or ideal site to place the new intraocular lens. Intraocular lens, PSM, it is going to be which method of prevention? Intraocular lenses will be an example of secondary level of prevention, because intraocular lenses used in cataract surgery are used for treatment of cataracts. Contact lens or spectacles will be which level of prevention? Tertiary. Contact lenses or spectacles will be tertiary level of prevention, because contact lens or spectacles do not treat the refractive error, they just help you to see, that is disability limitation. Clear है बात? दोनों में गड़बड़ाना मत. Next important is, a patient was diagnosed बच्चे with a case of cataract, and therefore he underwent a surgery, बच्चे, that cataract surgery was done. But after 6 months of this cataract surgery, beta, patient now comes to the OPD again with the same complaint, that is gradual painless loss of vision, and that too in the same eye. अगर surgery हो चुकी है तो what is the problem? तो यहाँ पे बेटा हमें पता है, बाकी सब तो हमने निकाल दिया था, but there was still the posterior capsule which was left, and now that posterior capsule has undergone a opacification. This is the late complication of cataract surgery, or I would rather say it is the most common complication of cataract surgery, called as PCO, known as posterior capsular opacification, also known as a after cataract or secondary cataract. Clear? तो याद रखना, अगर कैटरैक्ट सर्जरी की हिस्ट्री देखिए, वो बोल रहे हैं कि आफ्टर 6 months of surgery patient comes to you with the same complaint. So please remember the diagnosis has to be nothing else but posterior capsular opacification or a secondary cataract. If they ask you, beta, there are two types of posterior capsular opacification that we have. One is called as Elshning pulse, and second is known as Sommer rings, beta. The one is going to be Elshning pulse बच्चे, and the second is going to be Sommer rings, beta. तो ये जो दिख रहा है पिक्चर में, ये क्या है? तो ये मोतियों जैसा दिख रहा है, so it is nothing else but Elshning pulse, beta. So Elshning pulse are the most common type of Elshning pulse is the most common type of बच्चे posterior capsular opacification. Sommer rings are not very common. Elshning pulse are the most common type of posterior capsular opacification. Hopefully clear to all of you now. अगर वो पूछेंगे, PYQ हो गया, image based था वो भी, what is the treatment for posterior capsular opacification or after cataract? We have to use an Nd:IR laser, और उसके सहारे हम क्या करेंगे? Very good. We are going to make an opening, beta, with the help of the Nd:IR laser. I am going to create an opening in the posterior capsule, and that is called as posterior capsulotomy, बच्चे. ठीक है? So please remember, the treatment of posterior capsular opacification is done by a method known as posterior capsulotomy, and posterior capsulotomy के लिए बच्चे, the laser that we use is known as the Nd:IR laser. Please tell me, beta, what is the wavelength of Nd:IR laser? याद रखना बेटा, Nd:IR laser का wavelength is going to be 1064 nanometers, beta. That is what is important to remember. Not need to remember all of them, at least remember Nd:IR के लिए it is 1064 nanometer. ठीक है? Now this was about the most common complication or the most common late complication of cataract surgery known as PCO. What is the most common early complication of cataract surgery? तो हमें पता है after cataract surgery within few weeks the patient will come to me with a lot of pain along with decrease in vision. मतलब a patient will have a sudden painful loss of vision. When you examine the eye, there will be redness due to inflammation. Patient will definitely have edema, beta, corneal edema causing haziness, and patient will have collection of pus in the anterior chamber called as hypopyon. So as there is an infection, which the patient will have collection of pus in anterior chamber known as hypopyon. What is the likely diagnosis? डायग्नोसिस एंडोफ्थाल्माइटिस बेटा. तो एंडोफ्थाल्माइटिस की अगर मैं बात करूं, दिस इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू बी द मोस्ट कॉमन अर्ली कॉम्प्लिकेशन आफ्टर अ कैटरैक्ट सर्जरी बेटा. अगर मैं एंडोफ्थाल्माइटिस की बात करूं, इट इज ओनली इन्फेक्शन ऑफ द इनर लेयर्स ऑफ द आईबॉल. इट इज ओनली इन्फेक्शन ऑफ द इनर लेयर्स ऑफ आईबॉल. अगर वो बात करते हैं बेटा अर्ली एंडोफ्थाल्माइटिस, व्हाट इज द लीडिंग कॉज? अर्ली एंडोफ्थाल्माइटिस का लीडिंग कॉजेस cons, that is coagulase negative staphylococcus also known as staph epidermidis. So coagulase negative staph or staph epidermidis is the leading cause of early endophthalmitis बच्चे. If they ask you what is the most common cause of late endophthalmitis, Propionibacterium. So Propionibacterium beta, it is the leading cause of endophthalmitis. Propionibacterium is also known to cause acne. That was a PYQ in your examination, Dharma se. What is the likely bacteria causing acne? Answer was Propionibacterium. Yeah? So that is important. The early endophthalmitis is due to coagulase negative staph or staph epidermidis. Late endophthalmitis is due to Propionibacterium. Within few weeks of cataract surgery, patient comes to you with sudden painful loss of vision. Clear है बात? अगर वो बोलेंगे इस कंडीशन में ट्रीटमेंट क्या करोगे? Bacterial infection is the cause, so treatment has to be intravitreal antibiotics. हमें पता है बेटा पोस्टीरियर चेंबर में, पोस्टीरियर सेगमेंट में, मतलब इंट्राविट्रियल एंटीबायोटिक्स हैव टू बी गिवन. इफ दोस डजंट हेल्प बेटा, देन वी गो फॉर पीपीवी. व्हाट इज पीपीवी? पार्स प्लाना विट्रेक्टमी. इंट्राविट्रियल एंटीबायोटिक्स डोंट हेल्प, गो फॉर अ पार्स प्लाना विट्रेक्टमी बच्चे. एंड अगर उससे भी काम नहीं चल रहा, देन रिमूव द इनर लेयर्स ऑफ आईबॉल. रिमूवल ऑफ इनर लेयर्स ऑफ आईबॉल इज कॉल्ड एज evisceration. Removal of inner layers of eyeball is known as evisceration. Inner layers of viscera beta. So removal of only the inner layers of eyeball is called as evisceration. That is the last option in treatment of endophthalmitis. Clear? Enucleation is done in other conditions like an intraocular malignancy known as retinoblastoma or in sympathetic ophthalmitis. Clear? Exenteration is removal of orbit done in mucormycosis. Very good. Here, topics. अरे रुको, बस कंजंक्टिवा खत्म कर रहा हूँ, ज्यादा नहीं, जल्दी जल्दी हो जाएगा. ज्यादा नहीं है, कंजंक्टिवा खत्म करना है बस, जल्दी. 80-year-old male had a gradual painless loss of vision beta. 80-year-old male had a gradual painless loss of vision since years. Now he presents to the OPD with the given finding and a raised intraocular pressure is noted. What is the given finding showing you? तो यहाँ क्या दिख रहा है? See, there are two things beta. First is which appearance is seen? Milk bag of, we are bag of milk appearance. ठीक है? So we are able to see beta a bag of milk kind of appearance बच्चे, and the nucleus is in the center or sinking down. So here the nucleus appears to be sinking down beta. There is a sunken nucleus that is going to be seen. ठीक है? तो याद रखना दो चीजें दिख रही है. One is the bag of milk appearance. Second is the sunken nucleus. Okay. The reason is here what has happened. The patient has come to you in the very last stage of cataract. हमें पता है there are various stages of cataract like lamellar separation, incipient cataract, mature senile cataract, like hyper mature senile cataract. Now जब hyper mature senile cataract होता है, there can be liquefaction of the lens, and that liquefaction of lens will give you a bag of milk appearance, and the nucleus is going to drop down beta, and this hypermature senile cataract is called as Morganian cataract. So we know जो patient में gradual painless loss of vision हो रहा है बेटा with this kind of appearance, it is surely due to Morganian cataract बच्चे. But along with Morganian cataract they have mentioned something else, and what is that? The patient is also having raised intraocular pressure. Ab cataract doesn't cause any raised intraocular pressure. Very good. So we know beta that here what has happened, as the lens has got liquefied due to Morganian cataract, the lens proteins are going to leak out of the lens and they will go and block the trabecular meshwork. If the trabecular meshwork is blocked, will the aqueous humor be able to drain? No. That will cause raised intraocular pressure known as secondary open angle glaucoma beta. That is important to be remembered. And this secondary open angle glaucoma seen in Morganian cataract is known as phacolytic glaucoma because it was due to damage to the lens beta. And that has been a question, which type of glaucoma is usually seen in patient suffering from Morgagnian cataract? Answer has to be a phacolytic glaucoma because वो लेंस के डैमेज की वजह से हुआ था. Clear है बात? Understood. Next important, just identify the types of cataracts one by one. Shall I? पहला, सबसे पहले ये cataract का नाम क्या है? We know it is called as the oil drop cataract. Oil drop cataract is due to excess collection of what? So we know oil drop cataract happens when there is excess collection of dulcitol or galactitol बच्चे. So whenever there is excess collection of dulcitol or galactitol, patient has the oil drop cataract. It is the only reversible or only irreversible cataract. तो हमें पता है बेटा the only reversible cataract is oil drop cataract. बाकी all cataracts are irreversible बेटा. Important is oil drop cataract is only seen in patients of. We know whenever there is galactosemia beta, when the enzymes required for galactose metabolism are absent, in that condition the patient is going to have a galactosemic, that is oil drop cataract. It is seen in both major as well as minor galactosemia. Major galactosemia due to deficiency of GAL1 put called as galactose 1 phosphate uridyl transferase. Minor galactosemia due to deficiency of galactokinase. Clear about? Next important if I talk about बच्चे is the another picture. सरकारी क्वेश्चन ऑफ एफएमजी एग्जाम क्या दिख रहा है यहाँ पे? अ क्लासिकल रोजेट कैटरैक्ट इज गोइंग टू बी सीन बेटा. पेटल जैसा शेप दिख रहा है ना. एंड वी नो रोजेट कैटरैक्ट हैपेंस ड्यू टू ब्लंट और पेनिट्रेटिंग ट्रॉमा. So we know that rosette cataract happens basically due to blunt trauma to the eyeball. Blunt trauma to the eyeball is also known to cause fracture called as blowout orbital fracture. सरकारी क्वेश्चन with sign teardrop sign. याद रखना बेटा, blunt trauma to the eye is known to cause rosette cataract. Okay, and it can also cause tennis ball injury, can cause blowout orbital fracture. I'll come to the other ones. Next important is this one. क्या दिख रहा है यहाँ पे? You are able to see whitish opacities in the lens बेटा, classically known as snowflake cataract. Recent question in FMG exam. Snowflake cataract occurs due to collection of. तो हमें पता है बेटा snowflake cataract occurs due to excess collection of sorbitol. So when there is excess collection of sorbitol or polyol in the lens, that leads to formation of snowflake cataract. Seen in patients of. हमें पता है बेटा it is usually seen in patients of diabetes mellitus. याद रखना that the most common cause of vision loss in diabetes mellitus is going to be the snowflake cataract. Next important, you are able to see beta below this. There is definitely a greenish and there is basically beta a greenish and a golden hue that is usually seen beta, and this is classically a picture of which kind of cataract? Very good. It is a classical picture of a Christmas tree cataract. If I talk about Christmas tree cataract beta, it is usually seen in patients suffering from myotonic dystrophy बच्चे. So that is what is important to be remembered. Myotonic dystrophy में which kind of repeats are seen? It is CTG. तो हमें पता है बेटा this is a classical picture of a Christmas tree cataract seen in myotonic dystrophy, and there will be CTG repeats. Anybody CAG repeats are seen in Huntington's chorea beta. If they ask you GAA repeats are seen in, so GAA repeats are seen in Friedreich's ataxia beta, and CGG repeats are seen in Fragile X syndrome. So CGG repeats are seen in Fragile X syndrome. Next important, which kind of appearance is this? This is the classical onion peel appearance beta, and onion peel appearance is a feature of posterior polar cataract beta. याद रखना that most dangerous one called as the posterior polar cataract beta, or even nuclear cataracts may have this classical onion peel appearance beta. Clear है बात? Next important is another types of cataract, very classical. Here there is a question which says बच्चे, we are having a industrial worker who presents to us with complaints of below given ocular findings बच्चे, and the patient complaints of jaundice along with right hypochondrium, discomfort and Parkinsonism like features. मुझे बताओ jaundice and Parkinsonism together is only seen in one condition, and that is Wilson's disease. There is no other condition which causes jaundice and Parkinsonism together beta. It is known as Wilson's disease. अब मुझे पता है Wilson's disease is copper excess or copper deficiency. तो हमें पता है Wilson's disease में there is excess amount of copper which will deposit in the deposit in the liver causing hepatitis leading to jaundice, which will deposit in the basal ganglia causing damage to substantia nigra and deficiency of dopamine leading to Parkinsonism. It can occur due to a gene mutation. A or B? We know Wilson's happens due to ATP7B mutation on chromosome 13. ATP7A gene mutation causes. So ATP7A gene mutation causes Menkes disease, that is copper deficiency. The important is Wilson's disease, copper excess, ATP7B gene mutation, chromosome 13 follows autosomal recessive pattern of inheritance. Menkes disease, copper deficiency, ATP7A gene mutation follows X-linked recessive pattern of inheritance. Menkes disease follows XLR, so it is only seen in males. Females are just the carriers of Menkes disease. That is important. Ab Wilson's disease mein beta, there can be deposition of copper inside the lens causing opacity known as, very good, it is sunflower cataract. Chalo hosh mein ho, that is right. Next important, when the copper deposits in the Descemet's membrane of cornea. So whenever the copper deposits in the Descemet's membrane of cornea, that leads to formation of KF ring known as Kayser-Fleischer ring. So Kayser-Fleischer ring or KF ring is seen in Wilson's disease. Fleschner ring is seen in keratoconus. So Fleschner ring due to deposition of iron is seen in patients of keratoconus beta. याद रखना ये PYQ था कि कौन से membrane of कौन से layer of cornea में. So Descemet's membrane of cornea in both the condition. Investigation of choices. Serum ceruloplasmin is a screening test only. Serum ceruloplasmin is only a screening test. Investigation of choice is a liver biopsy. Liver biopsy pe you have to estimate the amount of copper or the weight of copper bachche, which will be the best investigation. Treatment. The drug of choice is going to be triantine beta. The drug of choice basically for a case of Wilson's disease is either triantine or the other option is zinc acetate. Agar antidote of choice पूछेंगे, it is D-penicillamine beta. That is D-penicillamine, which is the antidote of choice for copper toxicity. Next important is another case of trauma बच्चे, जहाँ पे you are able to see a very classical picture called as which ring? PYQ and FMG, NEET and INS at तीनों. So here patient had a concussion trauma. Concussion मतलब sudden flexion and extension beta. Due to that, the lens of the eye comes in contact with the iris, and the iris will deposit its pigment beta on the lens, leading to formation of this circular pigmented ring called as Vossius ring beta. So this is classically known as the Vossius ring. And yaad rakhna, they have only asked you the image based question ki kya hai. Vossius ring it is happens due to concussion trauma. Clear hai baat? That is what is at least remember. Another case of blunt trauma beta. Is blunt trauma mein kya ho raha hai? The base of the iris is getting separated beta. When the iris gets separated from its base, the pupil shape is not circular, it becomes, हमें पता है the opening in the iris is called as pupil. Okay, so here it is normally circular, but here it gets D shape beta. And D shape pupil due to blunt trauma is seen in a condition of iridodialysis beta. So this is a classical case of iridodialysis बच्चे, which occurs due to blunt trauma leading to D shape pupil, and it can lead to diplopia in the patient. Clear? Important is यहाँ पे देख लो trauma के cases. The patient is having hammer and chisel injury बेटा. Hammer and chisel injury जो होती है उसकी वजह से क्या जाता है आँख में? Metallic foreign body, मतलब iron foreign body can go inside the eye बच्चे, ठीक है? तो hammer and chisel injury मतलब छन्नी हथौड़ा, ठीक है? उसकी definitely अगर उसके साथ काम करेगा कोई तो metallic और iron foreign body will go into eye, and that will be treated by repeated question of the day. Please remember removal with the 26 gauge needle. So metallic foreign body बच्चे और iron foreign body, okay, it is usually removed बच्चे with it is usually removed beta with a very small needle, that is a 26 gauge needle beta. That is important. Please tell me beta that which investigation is going to be detrimental if the patient, तुम्हें क्या पता था मैं क्या बोलने वाला हूँ आगे? हाँ बोलो, which investigation is used in metallic foreign body? CT. Which investigation is detrimental? What is detrimental? Detrimental मतलब जो खराब होता है, because I have got this question so many times कि सर ये डेट्रीमेंटल क्या है, याद रखना जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन खराब होगा, MRI is absolutely contraindicated whenever the person has a pre-metallic foreign body in the eye or in anywhere in the body. Yeah. Next is chemical burns in eye. I've taught in surgery. तो हमें पता है बेटा that the treatment for chemical burns in eye. Recent question था, a person working in tuna factory had a splash of chemicals in his eye बेटा. So treatment is nothing else but copious saline or water irrigation बेटा. मतलब you just have to wash the eyes with a lot of water or with a lot of saline बच्चे. तो copious saline irrigation or definitely copious water irrigation. Reason क्या है? Why chemical burns में we do a copious water or saline irrigation? डोंट वी गो फॉर न्यूट्रलाइजेशन, एसिड बने तो अल्कली डाल दो, नहीं, तो न्यूट्रलाइजेशन इज नेवर ट्राइड बेटा. व्हाई वॉशिंग इज डन? टू डिक्रीज द कांटेक्ट पीरियड between the chemical and the surface beta, to decrease the risk of injury. Clear है बात? That is what is important to remember. Next is a case of trauma which is causing ectopia lentis. Lentis चाहिए तो ectopia lentis beta. Ectopia lentis is nothing else but subluxation of the lens. सबलक्सेशन इज कंप्लीट और पार्शियल डिसलोकेशन. तो जब लेंस थोड़ा सा हिल जाती है अपनी जगह से, दैट इज व्हाट इज एक्टोपिया लेंटिस और सबलक्सेशन बेटा, as you are able to see in this picture. Most common cause of ectopia lentis, trauma. तो leading cause for ectopia lentis or subluxation of the lens is trauma beta. Yes, other causes are going to be Marfan syndrome or homocystinuria. Now याद रखना, whether it is Marfan syndrome or it is homocystinuria, patients will have common features like both of these patients will have a tall stature, both these patients will have an arm span which is greater than their height, arm span बड़ा होता है उनका. Third, both these patients may have chest deformities. Fourth, both these patients beta basically will have cardiovascular problems. And fifth, both these patients will have ectopia lentis beta or a lens subluxation. Only difference is the direction. अगर वो बोलते हैं if there is a superotemporal lens dislocation, it is a case of Marfan syndrome. So if the lens is going upwards and outwards, ठीक है, that is Marfan syndrome. If there is an infranasal lens dislocation, it is homocystinuria beta. तो infranasal lens dislocation होता है, so it is homocystinuria. What is the gene mutation in Marfan's? So it is fibrillin 1 gene mutation on chromosome 15. So fibrillin 1 gene mutation on chromosome 15 is the cause for Marfan's syndrome. What is the cause for homocystinuria? Deficiency of cystathionine beta synthase. So a deficiency of CBS known as cystathionine beta synthase, or deficiency of vitamins B6, B9, B12. 6, 9, 12. याद रखना, either deficiency of CBS enzyme or deficiency of vitamin B6, B9 and B12. These are the causes of homocystinuria. That is what is important. क्या करना है? Conjunctivitis start करना है. Good night. See you tomorrow.